Hi, I'm Ann Powers. I'm here to share my Google Slide presentation for our visual literacy unit. And I've chosen Google Slides to introduce tools from gapminder.org. The materials are all free from Gapminder, and they encourage people to use them, so the copyright's covered there. And I want to describe the concept of bias and its effect on our perception of the world to an audience of teachers. So this project is intended for teachers. I've chosen a template from Slides to support my presentation in terms of color, scheme, font, and layout. And for their animations, the ability to put in video. Someone pays graphic designers big bucks for their knowledge and expertise in this area, and I am perfectly willing to allow them to help me make choices with color and font and scheme. This slide 4, is repeated again as slide 9. If I were to boil down a single concept that I'm introducing to my audience, I would say this is the graphic that sums it all up. This is my original attempt at an infographic, caveat on original. I pulled in clip art. But the cropping, animations, and arrows are mine, and the concept of story behind it I pulled together from TED Talks and from Gapminder and the way they present information. Here's a Wordle and the link to the digital literacy lesson. Here's the interactive that we find on Gapminder. Gapminder has such amazing infographics. The x-axis is changeable, so students can just choose and explore. It was changeable last time. Lots of things to choose from, so you could look at babies per woman. The y-axis, you can also alter it. You could base it on income. The graph, it changes over time, so you can see how things went from the 1800s forward. In this particular set, they had data for that much. Each bubble is a country, and the size of the bubble is relevant to the size of the population of the country. So again, awesome infographics, and the reason that I pulled them into my slideshow. Khan Academy, again, is another link that I have out there for their graphics, their ability to do a tutorial and teach correlation much better than I could teach. And we're going to go back to my slide. So the idea that story plays an important part in pulling the audience in. Each of those pictures is linked to a story that I will share. I'm repeating slide 4 because this is the concept that I really wanted to bring through. What is personal bias? What is outdated worldview and news bias? And how does that affect, even though we're faced with factual data, big data, we've got all kinds of databases to pull in, how does that affect our concept of the world? Here's another interactive for the audience. The question would be, which direction do you think this line is going to go based on what you know or your sense of the world? And this is the percent of people in extreme poverty. And when you actually look at the data, we have improved percentage-wise. So how did you do? Did the results match your predicted outcome? Were you able to avoid your personal bias? Is your worldview outdated? And a persuasive task for my teachers, how can they use this with their students when they're done? And so the TED Talk by Gar Reynolds about story, imagery, and the art of the 21st century really resonated with me, and I am not a great sketcher or doodler, and I could certainly work on that and improve that. I have to have a growth mindset about that. But my presentation here focused in more on our perception and being able to be an educated viewer of graphics in the 21st century. Thank you.